Okay, I actually thought I might show the two knives before the video in case you didn't want to watch the video. The first knife is a Tanto blade. The second is a drop point. Both knives are made out of the same 3 pieces of wood. The handle is made out of walnut and the dowel pins are also made out of walnut. The blade itself is Purple Heart and the red part is African Padauk, and at the top very slight, very little bit of walnut. Both knives are made out of the same wood. I know that it's a wooden knife, doesn't really serve a purpose, but they look like little pieces of art to me. So until I'm able to finally one of these days make a real knife, this is what I'm stuck with. So go ahead and watch how I made the video and enjoy. I downloaded these 2 templates from dcknives.com. The first is a BK2 Becker, the second is a TT1 Tanto. So then I simply just cut out both knife templates. I transferred the templates over to a new piece of paper so that I can go ahead and trace them, because there were a few alterations that I wanted to make. I wanted to change the handle on both so that it would accommodate my hand. So I traced out a new template just for a handle, cut it out, and now I'm placing it on the paper so I can come up with the new complete template so I can finally cut it out. Right here you're looking at all 4 templates, the 2 originals and then the 2 that I went ahead and added my handle to. Here's my sorry attempt at trying to color the knife, but yeah. So I used 3 pieces of wood. One is walnut for the handle, the blade is African Padauk and Purple Heart. Now I'm going to go outside, use my table saw and trim the wood down to 1/4 inch. Glue and simply glue the back. And glue it down and trace it. I'm using my jigsaw to cut out the pasted on template. I simply put it in the vise and just cut along the paper's edge. So here's the drop point. See the back side of it. Here's the back side. After cutting out both templates of the pasted on wood, I took both knife blades, put them back in the vise, and drilled 4 holes. The 3 holes were for the dowel pins, and the hole at the rear is for a lanyard. I'm going to take the knife, clamp it down to the walnut pieces, drill the holes, draw an outline, and then cut the handles out. Okay, here it is in real rough form. You see the knife is in between the two handles. The dowel pins go through. Very tight fit. Feels pretty good in my hand. I mean, obviously I need to trim it up, but so far, pretty good. So I'm going to trim this one up, and hopefully it'll look as good as this one does. No ear protection, but I do have eye and mask. Here's the basic look of both of them. My next step is sanding. I'm going to sand the blade on both sides to make it nice and smooth and flat on the belt sander. Then I'm going to sand the handles. They're both way too thick and uneven, so I'm sanding those down flat so they rest up against the blade, and then I'm going ahead and shape the handle and shape the knife right now on my belt sander. Just got done with using the sander, and as you can see, the grips line up almost perfect with the back of the tank. Almost perfect. So before I go ahead and finalize that sanding, I'm going to make my final dowel pins. Take a can and I cut it into sections. Then I layered the sections. After I layered them, I'm going to take a hammer and hit them straight and then put them in a vise and drill a hole through it. On both ends so I can load it into the drill. Then I simply fed it through the hole. To glue the knife together, what I did was simply use wood glue. I glued the knife or the tang of the knife on both sides, and then I just glued the handles on the inner sides. Stuck them together, put the homemade dowel pins through the hole. Some of them were very tight, so I just used my hammer to knock those through. And then I clamped it all together. Oh, by the way, the dowel pins were actually made out of walnut. After I got done hammering them in, I clamped them, let it sit overnight, took the clamps out, and then cut the dowel pins off. Right here, you can see where me cutting the dowel pins off is pretty rough looking. That's fine. Now that it's totally glued up, I'm going to go to the belt sander and do my last final sanding on the belt sander. Here's both knives, and as you can see, the dowel pins have been sanded down, and I've given it its last sanding as far as shaping it. Now I'm just going to use a finer grit and go ahead and put a smooth finish on it. I just got done sanding both knives. They're very soft and very smooth. I put a round edge on, so when you hold it in the hand, it feels very good. Nice and shaped. So the next step I'm about to do, you actually have to see this one in live. What I'm about to do is pour just mineral oil over the blade and the handles, and watch the color transformation. Now I'm just gonna rub this in on my finger, but as you can see, that's a nice difference. This looked nice. This is to the next level. Look at the difference. Just mineral oil. So I'm gonna cover both sides, top, bottom, and I'm gonna let it sit for 24 hours soaking in. And then once I'm done, I will go ahead and put a lacquer over it to lock in this look. And I'll show you that. Got done rubbing in the mineral oil, I took both knives outside and I let them sit in the sun as I walked around, so you can really see all the colors really pop. The red underneath at the bottom and the purple, the brown, wow, just pretty. Okay, it's been 24 hours. I'm about to wipe off the rest of the mineral oil, and then when that dries, I'm going to put the varnish on. Okay, I'm here at my final step. I'm going to apply some polyurethane. Use 2 to 3 coats, and I'm in a ventilated area outside, and I have my breathing protection on. Here is the knife in its finished form. I let the polyurethane sit on for 2 hours and I put on multiple coats. Then after that sat, I used a very high sand grit of 2000, went over it real lightly, and here's the finished product. Very smooth in the hand, very light. Came out much better than I thought. Obviously it's a knife made out of wood, so it's not gonna have any real purpose other than I just like how it looks. I did this because I've never made a knife. I know I still didn't make one, but I made it out of wood, and this gave me a lot of tips on, if I ever try to make one, what to do. So it was very fun me making it. I hope you enjoyed it, and came out pretty nice to me. I'm calling it artwork. That's my story. That's what I'm sticking to. I appreciate you guys watching, and you have a nice day. Bye.